Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to day 2 of the Krangled passive event, where everything is obscured and we kind of have to just figure things out, which includes ascendancies. Now, I scouted 3 of them yesterday, but my biggest disappointment with this event was that we don't have access to the ascendancies to know what kind of character we can build, and I don't personally feel like playing a character on an ascendancy that just doesn't work. So the lovely folks over on Reddit have put together this document that they are documenting all of the ascendancies, the notables that and what they've changed to, which they're not all in here yet, but there's a lot of notables on the passive tree. So this is slowly getting filled in as people are going through things, as well as keystones. But I don't know that I'm going to look too much into this. Like, it's really hard to go from a list of what the notables are and be able to just apply that to the existing passive tree. If there's a certain node you're looking for, you can probably find it in here, or at least narrow down where the things you're looking for might be. But I'm mostly interested in the ascendancies. I really don't care too much about trying to get the fastest time and to kill Eater and Exarch. I want to make a build that I wouldn't be able to play otherwise with the ascendancy nodes that different classes have gotten. So I'm going to go through these kind of briefly and pick an ascendancy, and I think that's what I'm going to roll with. So, starting here with Assassin. Assassin has Shaper of Storms, Unbreakable from Juggernaut, Frigid Wake from Occultist, cannot be chilled and frozen. Raider node for Frenzy Charge on kill. Slayer Bane of Legends, more damage with hits and ailments against unique enemies. Overkill damage leeches life, and 80% reduced effective curses on you every 4 seconds, regenerate 30% of life for 1 second from Guardian. Assassin looks good. Frenzy Charge on kill, extra cold damage, more damage against unique enemies, all damage can shock, or the life leech. So yeah, Assassin looks pretty solid. We can do something fun with that. Berserker has Inspirationals. That's the champion's banner node, so no banner reservation. Elementalist's Convergence, so big AoE, but more damage against uniques. That one's nice. Additional Golem from Elementalist. The more chaos damage and Wither from Occultist. 10% attack block, can't be stunned by blocked hits. Counterattacks deal double damage, and Escape Artist. Evasion and energy shield per helmet and body armor. Those ones don't look quite as strong, as the chaos damage and the elemental damage from Part of Destruction doesn't stack as well. And you got banners, which is kind of out of place with chaos skills, so Berserker's not looking as good. So Champion has Challenger charges from Gladiator, has Essence Glutton. I found those yesterday on my champion that I leveled. There is the Mine Throwing Speed if you've detonated mines recently. We've got the Brand Recall cooldown recovery rate. We've got Damage per Endurance charge with AoE per Endurance charge. And there's 2 that we do not know yet. We don't know what Fortitude or Worthy Foe have turned into. Chieftain, I believe this is what Mathel is playing. You get the Intimidate and Adrenaline on low life. Juggernaut's Endurance charge buffs, additional physical damage reduction, Chaos Res. Necro Auras grant attack and cast speed. This is 30 all res as well as damage. A solid one. It has the Raider phasing, which is exciting. Fizz damage converted to fire, and then Fizz is extra fire. Rage on hit with attacks. So the Rage is here on Chieftain. Vile Bastion's here, and there's still one we do not know. Chieftain looks like there's something we could do here. And this is Rage on hit with attacks. You'd still have to be attacks, but Rage plus Intimidate with phasing, spell suppression. Chieftain's good. Chieftain is doable. Deadeye has Onslaught from Raider, Power Charge from Occultist, which is AoE, and increased damage per power charge, and power charge generation if you're spending lots of mana. Enemies near corpses you spawned are chilled and shocked. Interesting. Offering skills also affect you, which is also interesting. Another Necro node on Deadeye. With at least 1 nearby corpse, nearby enemies deal 10% reduced damage, and you and nearby allies deal more damage, and increased AoE if you consumed a corpse. So you also can get Consecrated Ground, +1 totem, bleeding enemies explode, dealing percentage of their life is physical with Fizz Dot. There's a lot you could do with a Deadeye. Lots of corpse and offering stuff here. I think that looks pretty solid. You want to do some corpse stuff. Then Elementalist has a crit chance and multi per power charge. Has Fire Leech's life, 10% strength, cover enemies in ash, 2 additional projectiles, all damage can ignite, you can apply additional curse, and you can apply curse to hexproof enemies. This is insane. Like 3% less damage taken per gale force, lose all gale force when hit. This you can't really use without the tailwind. Maximum endurance charges equal to max frenzy charges here, and then the Trickster spell suppression. Very, very good on Elementalist. Gladiator has a Guardian block node, or effect from mines, auras grant physical damage reduction from the Guardian, 2% of life for each trap and mine triggered recently, and ignite and shock immunity. Battle Mage from Inquisitor, increase attack or more attack damage for each non-instant spell, +2 max frenzy charge with charge duration and chance to poison on hit from Assassin. Gladiator's kind of odd, probably something with mines is where you'd end up there, ideally. We've got Guardian has crit chance multi-flat Fizz from Berserker, has Impales from Champion, Chieftain's Fizz taken as Fire, big Fire res. Hierophant's mana is extra ES, AoE per 50 unreserved max mana. Pathfinder's flash charge on crit, and action speed from the Trickster, and there was still missing one here as well. And Hierophant is another one I went after yesterday. Nearby enemies cannot gain power, frenzy, or endurance charges from Guardian. You share them. Chance to gain power, frenzy, or endurance charge on hit. That's cool. Eviction of Power is +4 endurance and power charges, normally on a Hierophant. Soul Drinker is from the Trickster. Energy Shield. Leech is not removed on full ES. With damage leeches ES. Still missing 2 here. I added in Ritual of Awakening, the more damage per summon totem. I found this yesterday, and when I first discovered this document, this wasn't in here, so I added that one in. Augury of Penitence. Nearby enemies take increased elemental damage, deal less damage. And then there's the +10 max chance to block, and whatever Sanctuary of Thought is, it's behind that. So it'd have to be really good for you to go 2 Ascendancies deep into whatever this is. Inquisitor has Toxic Delivery. More damage with poisons inflicted with critical strikes. Arcane Surge on spell hit. Increased effect of Arcane Surge. Crits ignore monster Ellie Res. And Instruments of Zeal is still on Inquisitor for the Fanatic charges. Has the Raider buffs for Frenzy charges. AoE per enemy killed recently up to 50. Melee strike range, that's from Slayer, and we're missing 1. Jug has Pious Path, effects of Conquer Ground, Lingers, Unflinching, and Unstoppable, normally on Juggernaut. The endurance charge gain that can stack to max endurance charges. Action speed cannot be modified below base value. Minion damage, attack, cast, and movement speed. All damage with hits can chill. Nature's Boon, flask charges every 3 seconds. And Mastermind of Discord, exposure you inflict applies an extra -25 affected resistance. I think it'd be crazy to have something like this with the nearby enemies have exposure from Raider. You could get those 2 together in one of these. Ooh, that'd be crazy. The Necro, we're missing 3 still, looks like. But we have Mistwalker from Assassin, increased elusive effect, gain elusive on crits. Warbringer, Rage on Warcry. Valako is endurance charge, generation, extra buffs for endurance charges, rupturing from Deadeye, crits which inflict bleeding, also inflict rupture. Master Alchemist, remove ailment when you use a flask. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Necro. Occultist is busted. Like, Occultist is so good. Occultist has the permanent fortification, has chance to taunt on hit from Champion, Bastion of Elements from Elementalist. So this is an elemental shield that you can have per notable passive allocated, and you cannot take reflected elemental damage. Nature's Adrenaline is 20% attack speed and extra movement speed during flask effect. And then Headsman, the Culling Strike from Slayer. So you get Fortify, you get the Culling Strike, you get Bash of Elements, probably. And then there's 2 that we do not know, Withering Presence and Frigid Wake. Whatever these are, they're behind Nature's Adrenaline. But regardless, you can probably play anything you want on an Occultist. in this event. Then Pathfinder has Berserker's Aspect of Carnage for 40% more damage but take increased damage. Slayer's Life Leech not removed on full life. Sabo's increased damage for each trap. Chance for traps to trigger an additional time. Gladiator's chance to blind with hits against bleeding enemies. 50% chance to cause bleeding. And enemies near your totems deal less damage and take increased damage for only physical and fire. This doesn't seem to synergize super well, but there's also 2 nodes that we do not know for Pathfinder. Raider has actually been filled out now. It wasn't last time I looked. We've got Ricochet from Deadeye, Gathering Winds, which is Tailwind from Deadeye. Raider has its increased effective onslaught and then more chance to evade during onslaught, but no permanent onslaught gain. Oh, there is permanent onslaught gain with Radiant Crusade. While there are at least 5 nearby allies, you and nearby allies have onslaught, and then you can get increased onslaught effect. But Illuminated Devotion from Hierophant, increased buffs during Arcane Surge, and then Chieftain's totem damage leads you as light. Increased buffs of your ancestor totems while active. Strange, but I think in a Krangled environment, Raider's always going to be a little bit worse with only the 6 possible Ascendancy nodes. Sabo has Rite of Ruin, triple effective rage. Barrage archers are not attached to you from Deadeye. Nearby allies have attack cast movement speed, AoE, intimidate, and unnerves from Guardian. Void Beacon is nearby enemies have minus cold and chaos res. Slayer's Overwhelm, the base crit increase on weapons, which is cool. Heartstopper, every 10 seconds, take less damage from hits and damage over time. And then there's still one missing for Saboteur. Slayer has Frenzy and Endurance charge gain with main or offhand from Gladiator. The increased crit chance per point of strength and int from Inquisitor. Untiring from Jug. The fizz damage prevented is regenerated as life. Bone armor from Necro. Additional physical damage reduction per minion. Veteran Bowyer from Pathfinder. The 10% Ellie pin. Fizzes extra random elements. And increased flash charges. Forbidden power from Occultist. +1 max power charges. Thought I've seen this somewhere else. AoE damage per power charge from Occultist, I guess. Berserkers defy pain, the Defiance node from Berserker. Nothing super jumping out to me from Slayer. And then lastly, we have Trickster. Has Ambush and Assassinate and Unstable Infusion from Assassin. So this is the power charge generation. Crits have Calling Strike and then more crit chance against enemies that are on lower full life. Just more damage. Has the Blitz charges, which you gain on critical strike from Berserker. Champions attack speed while fortified. Radiant Faith grants armor equal to reserved life and ES per reserved mana. Divine Guidance, Transfiguration of Mind, and minions have Unholy Might from Necro. There's a lot of synergy in the crit chance from Trickster. Beyond that, the rest of these are kind of misfit nodes here. So, after going through all this, we do not know where Profane Bloom is. There's a couple of options for it. We do not know where the Raider nearby enemies have exposure -20 to all elemental resistances, which is a pretty big node. We do not, I don't think I saw the blind from Sabo anywhere. Yeah, I did see. Okay, so one of these is wrong. There's 2 of them that have forbidden power, or 2 of them have forbidden power. So maybe Deadeye doesn't actually have this. So I'll link this spreadsheet in the video description if you want to look at the rest of the stuff on here more yourself. But I'm kind of thinking I want to mess around with the Necro stuff on a Deadeye, the offerings, and I've never done it. I've never messed around with these. 40% increased skill effect duration. Oh, somebody has just added in the next Chieftain node. Champions worthy foe. Enemies taunted by you take increased damage on Chieftain. Now, if we had more than 7 days, I'd probably take a more purist approach to this to try and figure things out myself. But with only 7 days, I want to play something crazy and unique. I guess what the Deadeye has is all Necro nodes anyways. So I could just do that on a Necro normally? Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to play Trickster. I'm going to generate power charges, and when I'm doing crits, I'm going to be gaining blitz charges, which is attack speed, so I need an attack crit build. And then I've got 3 of my nodes selected, and then if I'm playing attack, I can probably get fortified. Maybe I can get all of these. 4. That's what I'm going to play, because you can't get blitz charges outside of Berserker, and Berserker doesn't have good power charge generation, right? So yeah, let's play a Trickster. I haven't played a Shadow in quite a minute. And now, while I looked at the spreadsheet to figure out what Ascendancy I wanted to pick, I still don't know what's on this passive tree. The information's there, but I don't care too much to go too into it, so we're still going to have to explore this passive tree. Now, I know what a good amount of the stuff down and around here is from yesterday, so I think I need to start by trying to explore to the right or go up. Crit chance with mines. That's not going to fly. Skills used by mines have increased area of effect. Increased fizz damage with maces or scepters. Yikes. Can't use mines, though. I have to use attacks. Early on, I could just use Stormblast Mine. If I figure out what this passive tree is. Sure. Frostblades is an attack. Bow skills are attacks. Here we go. I got a Fizz Bow. Split Arrow, chance to poison. The biggest reason I went with Split Arrow is because of this black heart ring that I have. Lots of extra damage there. But 3 points here. I actually want to scout these little notes, so I'm going in. We've got Mana Flask effect, attack and cast speed. Mana Regen 5 int into increased fortification. Oh yeah. Easy damage. This poison. They'll get me through Act 1 real easy. Regardless. Ooh. Can slap some Pierce on this. Onslaughts be good too. Here we have Insightfulness. Reduce mana cost skills while in full ES. Mana into ES. Big. Let's see, what do we got off of this one? Cast speed, damage with poison. Accuracy, percent accuracy, minion life. Max ES, recovery from leech. Trap damage, crit chance. Okay. Crit chance is solid. What's here? Annihilation. Crit chance for spells. Crit multi for spell damage. Okay. Then Dex reveals Aggressive Bastion. Chance to gain endurance charge on kill while holding a shield. This is such a great note. Physical attack damage while holding a shield. Okay. Interesting. Brutus down with Poison Split Shot. So much flat fire damage on this Ignomod. Have to use that. Means I should probably drop the chance to poison. Can I use Arrow Nova with Split Arrow? I need to know. Yeah, it launches lots of arrows. They all do less damage, so I don't know if it's good. It's so hard to see. I mean, I do have a Split Arrow MTX for that exact reason. There's no way this is better than just being Split Arrow. Still can only hit one target at a time. It looks cool though. Vol Caustic Arrow and Vol Burning Arrow. Venom Gyre or Reeve. Those are the two attack options I have here. Probably be solid. Need to find a weapon for it though. Piercing Split Arrow is so good. Probably better because I stack so much damage with the ring and amulet. It would need some kind of single target, like a barrage or something, but even still, pretty handily cruise through Act 1. Okay, 6 passive points to add here. Let's see. Aggressive Bastion, staff attacks, there's an int node on the way to Farsight, damage with bows, fire damage into berserking, attack speed, 10 max rage. I'm gonna take that. Ooh, and there's Dex on the other side, attacks 15% chance to cause bleeding. Shows herbalism. Okay, that's good. And Bonebreaker, Macer Scepters, and some increased area of effect. And there's elemental damage at the bottom of this. Ooh, here's a barrage. Guess I can bring that and swap that in for Merveil. Or how about I just get barrage its own link set up so I can't use a red support gem. Next, let's see what this one is. This is discipline and training. So there's 2 big life nodes right here. I'm definitely taking discipline and training here. 2 more points. We've got tolerance. 30% chance to avoid being poisoned, stunned, and bleeding. And 10 strength, which I desperately need. Enemies taunted by your war cries take 6% increased damage with increased war cry buff effect. That's not bad. Damage is still just fine. It's not one-shotting stuff, but getting it done. Now what do we got? Blade Blast, Arcane Cloak, Skitterbots. Wow, that strength was not enough that I just got. A little bit of strength on the shield. I think it's about time to switch things up. I can put on an amulet with strength, then put on shield with strength, put amulet back on, and I can put on the boarding axe. Cool. Ooh, no Ancestral Call here for Frost Blades. I can't just go get one either because they're going to be leveled on these other characters. Well, I do have a Vol Reeve. I could probably do well enough. Oh wow, I can't use Reeve with a axe. Crossblades it is then. Wow, a lot of damage on a sword. 1.4 attacks, You know what? I think I'm just going to use that. I mean, the shield node is cool and all. I don't have the strength to use it without the shield. Okay, 16 strength. Well, no, it has to be on the amulet, I guess. I have to lose some flat damage, but I think it all comes back. Yeah, it's double damage over this sporting axe. And another passive. Take natural authority. Dot multi for bleeding. Wait, I can use Reeve now, right? Nope, it specifies one-handed swords. We got spell damage leeches. Yes. Crit chance with staves. Okay, this will show us Totemic Zeal, totem placement speed, attack and cast speed, Spine Cruncher. Another really big mace node here. We got Spine Cruncher and Bone Breaker. It's going to be really nice when I get to the library. I can actually get some real skills on this character. We kill Creighton. He runs away. The clear is pretty good with Frostblades, even not having the Ancestral Call or the Ancestral War Cry. Well, my damage feels good. Now, normally, I think for most min-max builds, you kill all the bandits to get the 2 passive points, and I think generally the decision making there is you question if you can get better than what the bandit offers or any 2 passive points on your tree. If there are any 2 passive points that are better than what you can get here, then you kill them all. But I think in this Krangled environment, I don't know that 2 points is going to get me more than what I can get here, guaranteed on my tree, because there's going to be so many inefficient nodes traveling to things you want. I think I have to help Alira here. And I'm going to get regen, I'm going to get and use the crit multi, and I haven't seen any Eligres up in this part of the tree, so I think it's help Alira for Shadow, or for at least the Trickster. Only one more notable to check here. It says +1 max cold res into +1 number of golems increased buff effect. Golem Commander. Okay, so now that I've scouted everything here, I can start refunding stuff. Probably these 4 points here. I'm still curious what is here, but I also want to go up. Crit chance, projectile damage, melee fizz, 10 strength, life and evasion. I also want to grab herbalism here. Take the strength, attack damage leeches life into clever construction. Well, that's interesting. I died. Can't perform actions for a minute. Alright, look at my passive tree. I can't. Another passive here. I found strength and dex here on the way to Master Sapper. So this one is Frenzy Charge on Trap. Chance for traps to trigger additional time on this one. Well, I get Ellie with attacks. I need that to replace my added fire because I'm stacking so much flat elemental damage. 631 DPS, 697. Wow. 5% life here, 6% life there. Well, there's a big fizz mace. The only issue is that there's not strength. Actually, I found a little bit of strength. And I do know where beef is. Yeah, I've gotten 3 different strength nodes, actually. Beef is down here. I doubt that's efficient in any way to go after. Well, there is attack damage leeches mana here as well. That's not terrible, but also make like something like this magmatic strikes here with a 2-hand mastery. Potentially useful if you're using maces and actually like making use of Spine Cruncher and Bone Breaker. I like the way the shadow looks carrying the 2-handed blade. Ooh, unique claw. What we got here? Lowers Warcry cooldown to 4 seconds. Enemies taunted explode. Big fizz damage. Need a little bit of int to make that work. Okay. Taking this life. That shows axe damage, impale chance, armor life, crit chance with mines. Okay. Versus and auras. Assassin's Mark is solid. It's less intelligence intensive. It's not going to be as useful until I start getting Ascendancies, but yeah, I'll take Assassin's Mark. It take life armor. That reveals Force Shaper. This is extra chaos. Attack and cast speed. Also not the worst thing. I need to find intelligence somewhere. I did get 2 nodes. So maybe I need to upgrade Amulet. Ramblejack. X int. Does that work? It does. So that opens up the claw. Actually lower damage, but I also get a shield. I'm gonna take Force Shaper. What did we get? Armor mastery. Okay. Alright, so the last segment didn't record, so I'm gonna have to catch you guys up on some stuff. I just finished Act 4 and still using Frost Blades. I played around with Blade Flurry for a bit. I messed with this LD Claw with some Warcry stuff with Blade Flurry, and it seemed that it was probably better to go with this Lakishu's blade that I found and switch back to Frost Blades. It's just doing better to clear. Passive tree wise, I scouted out all of these passives here, got myself a jewel socket with some resistances, found some inch there. Now I'm pushing up to these up here, found Wind Dancer, found a resistance mastery for corrupting blood immunity, found Fangs of Frost. So this is when I switch back into Frost Blades for sure, because Fangs of Frost is really good. And I just found Titanic Impacts, and this will give me crit multi with two-hand melee weapons, where I just switch to two-hand at some point. I'm trying to use a shield though right now because of this node giving me endurance charges on kill. But I got my Ascendancy, got Unstable Infusion. The Ascendancy nodes that I don't want are the two back here and this one here. So I know the 4 that I'm going to take are going to include these ones. Some people might be upset that I looked up what this Ascendancy was, but that's just the way I want to approach this. I'd rather have something to build towards than not knowing what I'm doing at all. So we're going with that, but I'm gaining power charges now. And then I just got Mark on Hit for my Assassin's Mark. I got multiple totems, put Ancestral War Chief and Ancestral Protector down. That boost damage, and then it's mostly just been trying to find attributes wherever I can, and I crafted some int on the shield because it's on the crafting bench, so we're rolling. Yeah, these are all the gems that I've used on my character that I'm not currently. Hatred, I want to get in for Herald of Ice, but I don't have the mana for it. I could use it, but the mark costs too much for how much I have reserved, so I can't cast the mark with Mark on Hit otherwise. So it is working out. With an Ancestral Cry, Frostblades can hit lots of stuff, doing pretty nicely. Yeah, when I saw Fangs of Frost, I was like, oh, I absolutely need to do that. I'd love to find myself a Cold Mastery, if somewhere up here it is. Because these are both Sword Masteries. This is a Trap Mastery. This one is Armor. No, this one's not the Trap. This is a Staff Mastery. This one's a Trap Mastery. And yeah, I'm just continuing to explore these. Like this one is an Attack Mastery. Strike skills target 1 additional nearby enemy. Ah! I love it. So I still have to explore to find things because I'm not looking up everything. But finding little stuff like this is just like, oh, I could do something with that. And it's been great. I've really enjoyed the exploration part of this. It really just... The only thing I didn't like was they didn't give us the Ascendancies. Oh, I'm definitely going to have that additional enemy. Because with that, then I could technically ditch the Ancestral Cry. Some enemies want to be tanky. I'm pretty sure Malachi Phase was going faster than that. But for Trash Clear, Frostblades can get it done. Definitely way faster than Blade Flurry was. And you get the cold and chill and freeze resistant enemy. This doesn't want to take damage. I've also got cast when damage taken Molten Shell on now, but I might need to get a determination for that to be useful. I am getting armor from Ancestral Cry. That's part of the buff that it gives when used. Grants armor per 5 power up to a certain amount. I think that pretty much covers everything I've been through up to this point. I've been kind of taking my time, not really too much of a rush, continuing to document whatever passive information I find out in my Discord as I'm going, because I'm kind of trying to do pretty much a full sweep through the area that I'm progressing through. Okay, another level. Send it. Strikes skills target 1 additional nearby enemy. So now I don't have to aim. I can attack over here, and if I'm close enough, that additional targeted enemy will use Frostblades. And now, when I use the Ancestral Cry, I will target 3 additional nearby enemies instead of just the 2 that it gives. It's really cool. But it's really important to have something, whether you use the Ancestral Cry or the support gem, you want that additional target purely for the ability to not be forced to name lock an enemy to hit it. Still don't know what's out here, but I want to take this 10% chance to blind. Opens up 16% minion damage, which would be 16% damage were I to just come over here and grab spiritual aid. I wonder what that connector is. I wonder if we know that. It's some kind of sword node. Doesn't seem too terrible, honestly. Let's see if I can match the symbol up. It's not Brutal Blade. It's not Blade Dancer. It's this one. It's Razor's Edge. Physical damage with swords. Overwhelm physical damage reduction. Minion damage right here along the way too. It's probably not a terrible play. Even once I know what all this stuff is, that's probably going to be a solid play. There's also no guarantee though that I'm going to be on swords still at that point. I think ideally if I could just pick a weapon, if I could get myself a Death's Hand Scepter, I could build around that with this. Because I think it has pretty good crit chance. It has high fizz damage. I think it might even gain power charges on its own. But I have lots of really big scepter nodes in the shadow start. Ooh, I found a new ring. Old fire lightning res. Fire to attacks. This is enough to replace the chaos to attacks. So that's a no-brainer. 2 passive points. We got minion damage and 4% melee physical damage. Up to 1 with evil. Bunch of chaos res there. Okay. And this is evasion ES. May have found a weapon. A lot of fizz damage. A lot of lightning. But needs strength. 143. I'm at 129. Shield has 19. So that's 110 plus the 21 on it. 131. So that's 12 strength off. So that means I will have to go back to a heavy belt. Have belt? Alk. No. Give me something I can work with here. Fire and cold. Okay, so that's enough to put on the weapon. No more whirling blades. But I can still use frost blades with this thing. Certainly looks like it. Oh. Okay. 2 passives, 2 refunds. Refunds are good. And I also have a mace now. So definitely take that point. We take this one. We can't. Alright, so AoE. 30% damage, and then 30% damage. Yeah. Chaos Res has a resistance and ailment protection mastery. Oh, okay. I don't need that at the moment. I'm going to start working into the next one. Spell suppression here. It might be a little bit slower now, but I'm going to pretty much one-shot everything with this. What does my crit chance get up to with this? 16.25 with 227 multi. So also means I'm making effective use of Titanic Impacts. A bunch of crit multi. I need fire res. This has fire res. Wow, my accuracy is garbage without precision. Okay, so this little bit of accuracy here does a lot. Plus it's physical and cold damage, which is better. Is Kitava time. Damage seems like it's okay. I also switched into a flame dash. And I changed gloves to get that accuracy in. Out here, I got 100 because I'm running a precision. So, not too bad. Could be using a frost bomb for exposure. That would increase my damage. Frostbite is probably more damage than the Assassin's Mark as well. But I can't just load this character into PoE and check things. That's it. Armor resist is going to be okay. Yes, they will. And I even have Chaos Res. Oh, he got ghosted. Oh, no. Life, strength, all attributes. Put that on? Almost. That lets me swap my belt back too. Just a little under on lightning. I could probably fix that somewhere. That would be a no. Strength, dex, amulet. Just life. But that breaks things from the dex. Yep. And it's actually the frost blades. Frost blades is the dex intensive thing that I have. More passives. We can see what this is. 8% spell suppression into skull cracking. Increased physical damage with maces or scepters. And we have a Warcry mastery. I guess with 2 refunds. Take out this mana. And I want to pull out of these 4 points and connect this way. And this is more mace and scepter damage right here. Like I'm gonna be okay on damage for a minute. The damage is insane. Pop. And what do we have here? Beastbind. I don't think that can work. I don't normally fight this thing, but I feel like this character has a everything dies attitude. With the two-handed mace frostblades action. Just gotta be done. There's the connector I needed. 2-hand melee weapon damage here. I guess I'll peek into these two next. Oh, strongbox. This one should be good. Pop it. Hit once. 1 enemy remained. Well, let's see what Chavron and Brutus got. Seems pretty fine to me. I've done this boss with way worse damage. And final phase. Oh, am I really gonna keep him in the corner? No no moves across the arena? Oh, look at that. I don't know how I did that. Boss always moves. I also just had the idea that maybe this build is what I need to test out the Frozen Legion skill. I have not played with that yet. I think that works with maces. Passive point. Attack damage leeches mana. And then kinetic impacts. 5% chance to deal double damage? Okay, whatever you say, game. I think at this point I just start looting scepters and maces and just commit to it. No. Is that my first death? No, this is not my first death. The totem's gonna get this guy? Oh, so close. Oh, the bleed got it. You're forced to resurrect in town. Cannot move. Yeah, this is the second time. 2 more passives. Kinetic impacts and a chaos mastery. Useful for chaos res. More useful than pushing all the way around for one with evil for chaos res. And crit chance with daggers. Bottom side has Winter Spirit. Fizz is extra cold? Sure, just keep giving me damage. I'm all for it. 2 more passives. So we get Winter Spirit. That is a lightning mastery. Almost would work. The other side has corpses you spawn have 5% increased max life. So either way into this is terrible. I'm not going to jump at it yet, but converting a chunk of the fizz to lightning would be solid. The skill turns most of it to cold, but then I'd get shocks with it if the idea is that I'm going to be critting. Probably wouldn't be a terrible move. Next passive point has accuracy crit multi with claws. Claws of the Falcon. Solid. Minion life regen. Oh, that's got corpse exploded. Just waiting when you die is actually like punishment. There's also no spawn like at the beginning of the zone. You go back to town. You go back to the last waypoint. I think it'd be fun to do a gauntlet like that. I don't know. In a gauntlet scenario, you'd be less incentivized to like stay alive. Yeah, I don't think people would build the characters as tanky if they knew they could die. But something would allow you to keep playing after you're like 6 days into the run, and it's just like snap your fingers and it's over. That's a point for Jewel Socket into crit chance multi with daggers. Throw in life, rarity, projectile damage. Oh wow, I can turn clarity off now that I got that little mana leech node, which I keep because that was on the way to kinetic impacts. Yeah. Okay, next one here is Frostwalker, cold damage, cold res. Okay. First 6 socket. With this passive, I should take Frostwalker probably because it's damage, but I'm going to take the determination mana reservation efficiency, and since I can take off my clarity, I want to put on determination. And I took the weapon off, put my shield on, then I can pick up the weapon, then put it on, and it has the strength on it to get it to where it needs to go. Can I pull that off? 49 mana. It's looking like a no. I lowered precision 1 level. That would be enough. Enter that with a scouring. That's how you drop the level of a gem by 1. You can use a regret to drop it to level 1. 56. Hopefully that works. A soul mantle. With this passive point, I'll put into Frostwalker. Wow. Already a blueprint, only 2 wings, enchanted armaments. That could be a 6th link, but then I'd have to do heist. I don't know if I should be doing heist on my 2-hand mace crit frostblade trickster. Oh no, I accidentally grabbed Goose Necklace. It's going to go right there. Here's a passive point. Here's a passive point. Here's a passive point and 2 respecs. Plus I have 2 regrets. Okay, 4 refunds. Here's 1, 2, 3. Okay, require 3 more intelligence, and that is because of Flame Dash, which that is okay. So it's 6 points. Do that one. Trap damage above it. Iron Will. Let's hit up this last one. Crit multi with swords. Trap crit chance and multi. And Inveterate, 15% spell suppression, and a sword mastery. Here we have int. This is dot multi. Let's go looking down here next. Then I'm going to pull out of Inveterate. Which side do we go for? This one has +1 strike range with melee damage into fire damage. Alright, one thing left to do. Well, I guess we gotta test it out afterwards, but let's go. Let's go get some blitz charges and see how that works. I think that is going to let this 2-hand mace business pop off with speed. Oh, okay. Diamond Shrine.
You were born for this.
I think I hit him with Frostblade 7 times. The totems did a little bit, but pretty good. I'll put this passive point into the fire damage. And there's minion life damage. Ow. Oops. I just leveled up precision. 56 mana down to 53. Alright. No more Hail Device. Alright. So let's not die here. This was part of the determination play. Making sure I could safely make it through this fight. Ascendancy time. Which one do I take next? This is when we go back to the list, which might have been updated with things. Liege of the Primordial Master Toxicist for Champion. Worthy Foe on Chieftain. Hierophant's filled out. Got Undeniable and Augury of Penitence there. Explosives Expert was the last one for Inquisitor. Okay, we still have no idea about Necro. Somebody pushed back into Occultist. Nature's Reprisals back there with Violent Retaliation. Back damage is lucky if you blocked in the past 20 seconds. Interesting. So does that mean... Okay, so Profane Bloom has not been found. Most likely it's in here on the Necro, or it's maybe on Sabo. Also haven't seen the exposure from Raider on any of them. But anyways, we got Unstable Infusion. I need Blitz. Polymath is left side, the top one. Soul Drinker, Spellbreaker, Heartstopper. Yeah, those are the ones I don't want. The Swift Killer, One Step Ahead is the bottom one. One Step Ahead is the third one I take. And then I work in Fortify for some extra attack speed on the last one. And if you're looking for that spreadsheet, it's on Reddit. It's in the video description. It's pinned in my Discord. There's plenty of ways to find that. So, top one it is. Blitz. So, on Critical Strike, I gain a Blitz charge. And then I lose 8% crit chance per Blitz charge, but 2% more attack speed. And they have a base duration of 5 seconds. So, I have to crit once every 5 seconds, basically, to make good use of that. And then I'm gaining the power charges. So, I should crit more. Oh, that whole thing crit, I got 6 stacks before I have to crit again. And I guess it counts all the enemies I crit with the attack. So, yeah, we're going to have some speed with this. It's going to be a two-handed build that feels fast. And this right here is why I wanted to play Trickster, because we just don't have access to anything else like this. Then we throw a Blood Rage on this, and we get some frenzy charges going, actually get a weapon with some crit chance on it, some good wax. I am terrified of these voodoo pulls, but if I make it to 20 blitz charges, I will have at that point negated all 4 power charges. So it'll be as if I had 0 power charges, but I'll have 40% more attack speed. Those charges definitely have a duration of 10 seconds, not 5 like it says. Okay, another passive in here, and we've got Explosive Impact, fire damage, area damage, and yeah, if you want to see what that mastery is, you'll have to check back tomorrow or check the spreadsheet. It might be on there, who knows. And there goes our Kali. Super easy. And yeah, I need to update my loot filter to include malls, so we can look for an upgrade to whatever this is. But there we go. That is going to do it for me for today. So I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icons just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.